Okay. We're back. It's Monday. Sorry, I didn't know what time we were going to be done errands today. So I didn't know what time I'd be starting. Would have started about an hour ago, but then I remembered I forgot to start our dough rising for dinner, so I was like, oh shit, we need to go do that. So today I'll be less distracted. In theory. And it looks like they did cut more hay. They have hay fields that are part of the state park down the street. I guess they grow it and then sell the hay bales for, maybe for money for the park or whatever. I don't know, or maybe it's somebody else's private land that's intermingled. I don't know what's going on, but they cut it and baled it and it's drying out in the fields. They probably did that because we have the big craft fair nonsense this weekend and parade and all that shit. So it's gotta look pretty with all of the out-of-towners coming in. So today, well, yesterday when we left off, we'd finished getting in our the background of our middle area, I guess. Today we're gonna start with working on the foliage, the leaves on the trees. I wasn't sure what colors I wanted to go with, so I just kind of grabbed a whole bunch. A couple are the new colors, a couple are the old colors. Oh, that's right, you guys didn't see the new colors I got. They're pretty. They're party. So, yeah. We are going to hit play on the tutorial. Excuse me. And see how things are looking here. The tutorial is muted. But the subtitles are on. I don't even know if you can see it because it's pretty small down there. But if you want to see the tutorial in its entirety, head on over to the Bob Ross YouTube channel, and there's the link to this particular video. And actually that might link you to the third season playlist, where you can see all of the options, including the 2 previous ones. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit play. Oh, you're gonna be hearing like whirring small engine noises in the background. We have all the fans going. Our temperature shot right back up through the ass. Excuse me. And our feels like is like 102 right now, so we're melting. We're just completely melting. So that's kind of like a cad yellow. I think he mixed some sap green into that. Alright, so that kind of to me feels like maybe this color. So we've got some spring green, is what I'm going to call it. And then it looks like he went into... Hang on. Was that... Hold on, Bob. I missed what color. I was running my mouth. Yellow ochre. Okay. So... this is kind of like a yellow ochre color. Kind of. So we'll use this one for yellow ochre. Oh, he added red. Oh, but he made an orange. So it's... See, I only have like 2 orangey guys. And the blood orange might be a little bright. We might go with the melon sherbet. We'll see. And then I kind of have some, this is called buttercup yellow, but I consider it to be more of like a straight cad yellow, so we could put some of that in there too. And then it kind of, he's kind of putting in some grassy bits. And some bushy things. Alright, so that one had a bit of sap green to it. Alright, so that'll be more of our like springy green color. Alright. I know you want to put some rocks in there, Bob, but I really want to see this before you do it. That's not... super helpful there, Bob. Alright, so I know that's like a really bad angle, but I think we're gonna have to go with it like that. Because, that's probably as good as it's gonna get. Okay, so, right. Who do we want to start on first? I think maybe... Who's our furthest back guy? This guy's kind of further back. Who are you? Who were you? It wasn't a straight up cad yellow. That was the yellow ochre tree. Yeah, okay. Sorry, trying to get my colors situated here in my brain. That was the yellow ochre tree. We're not gonna need, well, I don't know if we're gonna need all of that, but so he's got it pretty wispy in here. So we're gonna do small bits. Kind of like how we were doing the dark color. I don't know how much of the dark color we're still gonna have at the end of this, but we're gonna try to keep that somewhat visible. Like we kind of want a little bit of airiness in here, which might take a little bit of patience to get that. So this is something we're gonna have to play a little bit with here. Because, like, we don't want it completely airy. I mean, we don't want it to be like like maybe a fine lace, not like a straight up doily, if that makes sense. Some areas are gonna be a little filled in here, but we'll do what we can. But this is gonna be something that's a hell of a lot better to go a lot slower and build up to it, because trying to fix it afterwards is not gonna be let's say easily done. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to attempt to fix that. So then you'll probably have to redo that part of the sky. You'll have to redo the shadowing underneath at the very least. So I do want a little bit of that peeking through. Doesn't have to be a ton, but just a little bit. I'm just lightly dragging some of these fibers out so it's not quite so bunched up. That's what that scraping noise was, if it picked up on the mic. Not sure if it did. I think I've got that fan on high. I should probably turn it down to low. But if you're here, you're used to background noises being a thing. I will try to talk above it when I remember to. Again, just want this kind of floaty and it's gonna look like a hot mess at first, until you start really working that tree shape in. Because, I mean, you can't just throw it on there. You gotta kind of think of, like Bob says, how your trees are shaped. Is it skinny? Is it rounded at the top? Is it like, you know, the little pine tree shapes where it comes down in a cone-like shape? That's gonna need a little bit more, but I'm gonna pop that up here. And I'm just gonna rub the back of it a little bit just so it doesn't get too indented there. Alright, so yeah, that popped it up. It's not quite so sunk in that particular spot. So again, this will probably be a little bit time consuming, but you don't really want to rush this part, okay? Take your time with it. Spend some time with the trees. You'll be happy when you do. Unless you're going for like a chunky, like folk art kind of style, where it's like just like solid color without too much shading, then you know that's something else. That's a stylistic choice. You know, if the style you're trying to do this in is that, then you know, fine, whatever. Alright, so how's everybody's week starting off? Hope it's a decent one. As we start to get this guy put together and all dressed up. Now, he kind of went back and worked on the shrubbery after the tree trunky guys, so not sure. Like usually he just goes down the line like bam bam bam, but he kind of did it a little differently on this one. Just a little bit. I'm trying not to completely cover up all of our browns and stuff here. Some of it will get covered. I mean, that's just gonna happen, but we just don't want to lose all of it. We want to try to save some. Just to give it a little bit more life. I think I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit further over our trunks here. Over our tree legs. Now, I really probably should have done these back bushes first, which is what I was kind of hesitating on there for a second, because I was like, do I want to do those first, or do I want to do these first? Kind of ended up doing these first. Alright, that one's a little too solid, so I'm gonna discard that little piece, because I don't want to accidentally end up using it. Fluffapalooza here. So, I'm using this as a comparable yellow ochre color. Ochre? I think it's ochre. I keep saying ochre. Pretty sure it's actually ochre. This is from... This particular shade is from the Big Twist yarn line from Joann's, their value brand. And this is their mustard shade. But when I was originally picking it out, I was like, this is probably like as close and comparable to the ochre color as I'm gonna get. Again, you don't have to do that part, I just do because it kind of pops it back up so it's not quite so sunk in. It's a me thing. So, a little wispy, but that's actually a little big. Just want to make that part not quite so. Not quite so airy. It looks like somebody drove a plane through it or something. It's a pretty big gap in there. But at the same time, I don't want this to be too solid, so it's probably as far as I'm going to take that one. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright. So we got that boy. I mean, I might come back and add a little more to it. We'll see. I gotta think about it. So for right now, I'm going to tuck you back in your bag. I'm not going to close the bag yet because I don't think we're done with it. So he actually kind of took that one out pretty far. I'm going to grab our buttercup yellow, and I think I'm going to do these bushes, or this bush complex behind this one in it. Oh, this is so fluffy. Okay, in a good way. So this is the new acrylic yarn I just picked up. This is the Paint Box Simply Chunky. So the strands were a little bit thicker than the stuff from Big Twist, so not a huge deal. We could still fluff it just fine with our brush. Oh, I wonder if this is gonna turn like greenish. I didn't think about that until I stretch this out over it. Oh. Well, I mean, I guess that's not quite such a bad deal since we are working on a shrubbery. So I guess that's okay. Now, I haven't used the new stuff yet. I've only fluffed it. Fluffing it, it felt identical. Or almost identical to the Big Twist stuff. So let's see how this looks here. Alright. Interesting. I'm always nervous using a new brand of yarn because I don't know how it's going to cooperate with what I'm trying to do. Because, you know, we're probably not using traditional methods of crafting with it, but we still get the job done in the end. So it's a little faint, but I have it super fluffed out. Because again, I'm trying to go a bit slow with this guy. But he's starting to come to life a little bit here. Again, super slow on these trees because we want the dark color to poke through a little bit. We want some spaces, like Bob says, for the birds and the critters to be running and causing all kinds of havoc. Plotting what hiker they're gonna follow. And try to play the cute card to steal some trail mix. We had something kind of off topic but kind of related. We had something similar to that sort of experience happen when we were in Key West. We had gotten a thing of key lime pie from somewhere to try. I'm not really a big pie person. I don't normally like pie. Something about like textures and stuff for me, and I don't like cooked fruit. Most of the time, like, my fruit needs to be like raw. Pineapple grilled though is an exception, but most of the time I can't do the texture of like the squishy cooked down fruit. I can't do it. And I feel like everybody, when I tell them I can't do pie, they're like, oh, what? And I'm not a big fan of the pumpkin flavor, so more pumpkin pie for you. But anyhow, we had tried this key lime pie because it was like mostly like custard or whatever the filling was, and I wasn't really feeling it. I mean, I love lime stuff, but I just wasn't feeling it in the pie. And this rooster walked up to us. There used to be big rooster fighting rings down there, and when they disbanded the rooster fighting and like outlawed it, then like the people that own the roosters, they just set them free, and they've kind of been roaming around down there ever since. And you're not allowed to hurt them or anything because you'll get in trouble, because apparently they're protected now. And it was begging us for the pie. I'm like, it's pie. And it just kept staring at me, and it's like, you has pie? I also like pie. And I'm like, you don't like pie. It's like, you don't know that. I want you to try, said pie. And at Sunset Celebration, there was this mother rooster that kept showing up with her 3 chicks. Well, mother hen. I know roosters are. Mother chicken. Roosters are male. I get that. And she was hanging around the people that bought popcorn, because I guess she learned that people drop popcorn a lot. And it was supposedly a vet, like military vet that was selling it. So I was like, well, I'm not opposed to popcorn, but I have a hard time eating it with my teeth. But popcorn and I don't normally get along too well. I love it, but the shells get all stuck in my gums and stuff, and it's unpleasant, even though I love it. But so I was like, oh, what the hell, it was cheap. I was like, that's fine. Then we had this family of chickens following us around, like, hey, we're down here, hey, we're gonna drop some of that. I'm like, what? I'm like, you don't want popcorn. No, no, they wanted popcorn. Oddly enough. You're not, like, really supposed to feed them, but, you know, people drop stuff. We're gonna put this in. I feel like I want this one a little more solid, just to kind of get that yellow color chiming in there. I'm gonna see what this color can do, this yarn can do. Again, I'm just scraping the fibers very, very lightly and very, very gently. The needle is not actually being pushed in yet when I'm doing this. This is the needle getting pushed in. This is just scraping the surface. Alright. Getting this bad boy worked in here. Sorry I'm not streaming the WoW Challenges leveling contest that's going on right now. I really wanted to work on the arty stuff more, and still not sure if I'm really gonna give it a solid go. We've got a few participants. We've had a couple of deaths in the contest so far, like character deaths. Let me rephrase that. Let's not knock over the iced tea. My elbow tapped my cup. I mean, it's not terrible. It still has a little bit of a greenish tint to it, but I've also been trying to keep that a little extra wispy. So, I mean, because of the shade and because of how we're doing it, it's coming out how it should be, like, for what we're doing. So, oh, okay, alright. So if we had a proper amount in place, that would probably be pretty yellow and pretty solid. So alright. And when I bought this yarn, it was on sale for the paint box Simply Chunky on the Lovecraft website. It was on sale for $2.62. I think they were 300 yard balls. So they were 80 yards less in length than the Big Twist stuff from Joann's, but they were also like $2 cheaper from the regular price, because the stuff wasn't on sale at Joann's. That was like a special, like, New Year's sale that I had caught where it was $1.99. But I like the color selection on this paint box stuff a bit better than the color selection on the Big Twist, to be perfectly honest. So. Alright, so we've still got a little bit of some shadow poking through back there in between the tree branches, and that's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's more than acceptable for what we're doing here. Like I said, we're not trying to completely cover over the brown splotchies, the dark brown splotchies, but yeah, we still want some of that shining on through. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna probably try to take that up to the edge of that tree trunk there, just so we can help define it. And make that a bit visible. So I realize my other hand is probably covering everything. You alright?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Of course, they show up after today.
I told you, yeah, after we've already come home.
Yep.
Do we need to go out again?
Not at the moment.
Because, like, do I need to wrap up or?
Nope.
Okay. We haven't used one of our credit cards that we were saving as an emergency in a while, after we had paid it off. And, card company sent us... Yay! The alert worked! Hey, Zorts. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Well, now I think we'll definitely hit our money goal for our Christmas project that we're going to start in November. I think Zorts may have solidified that happening for us to get the stuff to do our needle felted gingerbread house scene with a Christmas tree and some gingerbread dudes on the outside and maybe a snowman. Depends on how much time we have. I might be a little too ambitious there. Oh yeah, we can do it. 2 months later, still on the side of the gingerbread house. Popping in freely for work. In the midst of freaking monsoon. Oh yeah, we're supposed to get some storms later, maybe. Drive careful. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. Turn around, don't drown. I doubt the cat will come and save you. They'll be like, I don't know, buddy, you're on your own. So yay, I think one way or another we should be able to get our gingerbread house supplies now. I mean, we were gonna do the project one way or another regardless. It just changed how we were doing it. But yay, we can get our embroidery floss, and which helps because I need to get some metallic floss too. I still need to go price shopping. I need to stop in the Supercenter at Walmart and see if they even have the damn embroidery floss I'm looking for. Because if they have it, I might try to find some kind of cheap yarn at Walmart that we can use for the brown color, so I don't have to pay shipping. And then I can take the ball of pink fluff directly with me and see if I can match the pink floof to the embroidery floss. It's hard to match colors on a website to something you have in your hand. Because, you know, every website, every monitor, colors are going to be off. Like, I think Lovecraft has the embroidery floss shade in the pink that I'm looking for. But I think I also need a green too. But the embroidery floss is pretty cheap. They actually sell the same brand of this yarn, embroidery floss paint box from Lovecraft. I did not know paint box made embroidery floss. I'm more used to the traditional DMC. I always get those letters in the wrong order. Dyslexic brain and all that jazz. Alright, we need to... Well, you can kind of see a little tree scene happening here. Kind of. Alright, so yeah, we need to fill that up a little bit more. But again, we're being very super close to the vest with this yellow hair. And that's fine. I'd rather go slow with this than speed brush it. What time is it? Okay. Did you activate that?
Not yet, I will.
Oh, right. So they sent us a letter saying if we didn't use... I like totally stopped mid-sentence. They sent us a letter saying if we didn't use the card, they were going to close the account. And we're like, no, we don't want you to close the account. We want that for an emergency. And we were going to put cat litter on it and then pay off the thing like immediately, or go to Dollar Tree and just put like $10 on it and then pay it off immediately. And Russell went to find the card, and the card we had was expired and we couldn't find the correct date one, and we know nobody else got it because, you know, there's no charges on it. It's been inactive. So we think we got the letter about it with the new card in it and didn't realize what it was and probably ripped it up and threw it out. Or it's buried in paperwork somewhere to be dealt with later and just lost to the paperwork black hole that's this house has become. So we had to call and order a new one. We're like, yeah, hey, can you send us another card for that account actually? Because I'm not sure where that is. But I did find out I'm gonna have to get the styrofoam at either Walmart or Joann's. It just wasn't the right size at Dollar Tree. It was like small, chunky blocks that were like this big. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's... I need a bigger base than that, so I'm gonna have to choke down spending the $8 on a piece of styrofoam. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to spend that much on styrofoam. Maybe I can get it at Joann's. I think they still run their 40 off coupon. I mean, I didn't want to go to Joann's, but styrofoam's expensive. And I'm trying like hell not to go to Hobby Lobby, so... Right, that's not bad. It's subtle, right? Like, you can still see a little bit of the... Well, in person, you can still see a little bit of our brown chilling there, and it's definitely popped our tree forward with how we did that, so cool. Cool. Alright. Next tree. Okay. This one's kind of like the springy green that he did. His trees are spaced a little differently than ours are, but that's okay. That's alright. Not a huge deal. Alright, put that over there. I will say the super chunky paint box feels a little bit softer, so I was trying to make sure I wasn't crazy. I mean, well, I am crazy, but aside from that, it's not, it's very subtle. It's very subtly softer, but it does feel a little bit softer. So this tree is kind of sitting back a little bit. I probably should have like moved it to here though, but oh well. Too late now. That's alright. Not that big of a deal. Not really. And this tree, used a little bit more of like a sappy green on there, so the green was a little bit darker. I have a slightly like more gray version of this color that we're putting in here now. So I mean, I can see. My only other option is like going with maybe a hunter green in this, but then that might make this just like feel like neon. So I don't know if that's really, again, I'm gently scraping those fibers around. You're sure you don't want to go now?
Did you want to go now? Are you in a convenient place?
Well, I mean, we've only kind of went like just under an hour.
That is entirely up to you.
I didn't know if you really still wanted to go today. I don't know where you are mentally, so...
We aren't going all the way to the place. Well, I suppose we could.
Where's the other place? Like, which place?
I'm not sure which place you're talking about.
I'm not sure which place you wanted to.
What were you thinking?
I thought you still wanted to go to the restaurant place.
I kind of do. Just see how much it would be. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll do that if you want to go.
Alright,
Or if you're okay with it, I'll just go myself, whatever.
can you give me like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just let me know.
So what place were you thinking?
It was either that or going to Walmart and grabbing something.
Well, which would you rather do?
I don't know. I'll think on it while I'm waiting for you.
Okay. Alrighty, right. That's not bad. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Worst comes to worst, we can always break this VOD into or the stream into 2 parts, and we can come back later tonight after after I've made dinner. I mean, I still need to work on that shaman, but if it's gonna storm in a little while, then I'm not gonna be able to work on her anyway. Kind of situation, so. Alright, let's just grab a couple more bits to throw on this tree. It totally didn't stick where I wanted it to stick, but that's fine. It wanted to join its friends up higher. So if you're trying to do the wispy stuff and it's too long, like it feels like there's too much fluff there, go ahead and trim the length of it down. It's fine. It's just fluff. You can trim it. I mean, the world won't end because you trimmed the floof. It's all okay. So apparently when we ran to the store earlier to get those other errands done, my mom thought I was here. Because I had made a comment about Zuzu being mad that he got locked out of the bedroom. And I said, oh, and you were waiting on the bed for us when we came home. And she goes, we? She goes, you went with Russell? I was like, yeah. Like, what? Am I not allowed to leave the house ever? Like, I usually can't go because there's too many damn people in the car. Okay. So we got that boy kind of starting to take shape, so we have to unexpectedly run out again. So we're gonna do this as a super short stream. I will probably be back later tonight to work some more on this after dinner. So keep an eye on Twitter. At least that's the plan right now. So keep an eye either way. I'll either post that we're gonna pick this back up, or I'll let you know that something happened and I can't. But the plan is to pick it back up after I do some things around the house and clean up from dinner. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to... Well, I might be able to work on that shaman later, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so either put your notifications on here, so you know when I go live, or follow the Twitter account. I will try to be back in a little bit for us to pick this back up, because I really wanted to get a little bit further today. So yeah, I will hope to see you guys in a few hours. If I don't, then I'll see you on Thursday for Bloodthirsty Challenge Leveling, where we try to get that Shaman to 60. So I hope to be back in a little while, so until then, have a good one.